Endless multiverse, endless multiverse, da 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 da, endless multiverse, episode 13. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Endless Multiverse, episode 13, with your host, Chainsaw Reacts, and Andy. And we're back once again with another episode of the show. And we have some stuff to talk about. We have a little movie that came out this week. A little movie, ladies and gentlemen, called In the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange 2. It is here. We both saw it. He saw it. I think it was yesterday or something like that. I saw it yesterday. And we really didn't talk about the movie. We really haven't actually spoke about it until this stream. So this is going to be interesting to see how we both feel about it, because I feel like we might have some differing opinions on this, but ultimately, I felt there was some madness in this multiverse. Yeah. There's a little bit of madness. Okay, so yeah, I mean, how was your week? First of all, before we dive into it,
it was busy and somewhat exhausting because you guys may know that I'm sitting in a different chair tonight because I've had a back problem since Sunday for whatever reason. I just have, it's like on the lower right side of my back, like there's like a pain. So like every time I sit up or I stand up, like it hurts like crazy. It has gone down a little bit, but it's still a little crazy why has it happened. So but otherwise, just had a lot of work. Otherwise, how was your week?
It was pretty traditional in a sense of work. Had today off actually, but just it was the last week of craziness in terms of watching Superman and Lois and then going right to bed, waking up at 4 a.m. to cover Moon Knight, and then that night having Flash. So it's a lot. But thankfully, well, even though I enjoyed the show overall, Moon Knight is now over. Superman and Lois is once again on another break. For the next couple weeks, it's just going to be the Flash. So it's going to be kind of slowed down a little bit in terms of me having to.
It's only 1 week. It's only 1 week of Superman and Lois that you don't have. So that's at least that's a comfort.
It's only 1 week. I thought it comes back towards the end of the month.
No, it's back on the. It is back on the 17th, as far as I understand. Unless they have changed something.
I thought it said the 24th. I could be wrong. I don't remember. All I know is that it's on another break, which is really ridiculous.
Let's see. I know next week the reason they did it was because they were airing the 2 hour season finale, and then, but oh no, crap! It is back on the 31st. Okay.
Oh, 31st. Okay, so I was wrong too.
Okay, yeah. Well, CW just doesn't like us this season. I don't know what's happening.
And the thing is, I feel if it had more episodes, I feel it wouldn't be on as much of a break, because it only has like 4 episodes left to air. So that's probably why they're. I
just would have preferred if they had just, aired 7 episodes like at the beginning of, whatever they came back, and then maybe taking an extended break and then come back with the remaining 7-8 episodes. We did, because this isn't good.
No.
This isn't really, and I don't know what's going on these days anymore with that. Because I know Bitsy said something about it was rated COVID, but I'm like, but yet Flash has been able to film and Legend and Batman all without problems. So what's going on over there?
I'd like to know that too. I noticed that we don't have actually any images for Doctor Strange to pull up when we get into topics. So I'm going to create some banners that we can pull up during our different topics. I think we want to cover overall our just main thoughts. So we'll have that as a banner we'll pull up to talk main thoughts.
I can add some super chat in the meantime. Well,
okay.
Yeah. Jennifer said a $15 super chat. Just no question, just some support. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you.
Another one from Jennifer is multiverse. Yeah, I can't tonight. I cannot do that dance.
I got you. Multiverse. And it's really interesting too, because literally, this is a multiverse episode.
my bag decided to give out in the wrong timing. Jennifer said another super chat and is asking, will there be other topics today? We, honestly, after our review, we will have a bit of an extended Q&A, so that if you guys have topics you want us to discuss, and you can send in questions, super chat as usual, and just talk to, and we will deal with it then. But tonight is really mostly about Doctor Strange 2, and because I feel this week there wasn't like really a lot of big news that really stood out. Like I know there's there's the Amanda Waller show. We can talk about what happened on the Flash, but otherwise it was kind of calmer this week. Because last week it was all over the place with everything we're doing. So
Yeah, it literally felt like there wasn't too much going on. I mean, literally, we had so much news last week in terms of CinemaCon showing off footage and everything, and we had unfortunately the 2 cancellations of Arrowverse shows. So it felt like we needed a break. So, and the thing was too, we were planning on this show. We had planned earlier than normal to have this episode primarily be focused on this, and we'd have to restructure if something significant happened. And we had discussed if something significant happens, we'll rework the show, but ultimately our goal was to just focus on this since it is a pretty big movie.
Yeah, I will say this though. I mean, we haven't talked about it, but because next week, there is, for example, there's no Superman Loads, for example. Maybe if I don't know, maybe if we have some time, both of us, maybe we can do an impromptu Endless Multiverse, just kind of casual.
Yeah.
But we had another super from Jennifer. Thank you so much. How much do you think Doctor Strange 2 cost as a whole? I think it was somewhere around $200 million at least.
I would think at least. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't see a production cost. And again, I think a lot of times production cost isn't really revealed that much unless it comes from somewhere else. Because like a lot of times I see production costs, I'm like, where did this information come from? Oh, Justin says 200 million. So Justin says 200 million. So could be. Well, thank you, Jennifer. Love supporting you guys. Thank you so much. Let's get into it. So we're going to talk spoilers, guys. So if you're still here and you have not seen Multiverse of Madness, then just click away. Maybe come back during a Q&A. Maybe come back in and mute the stream unless you see that we're answering questions and everything. But we're diving into spoilers. So fair warning. We're first going to start off with, I think overall just our main thoughts. I have 3 things. I have main thoughts, cameos, and critiques. And then I guess we could just do a roundup. I'll do one more final thoughts, but let's start off with our main thoughts about the movie. We can talk about whatever in particular, but just overall your main thoughts. You start off, sir. How did you come out of the theater feeling after watching it?
Well, it was nice to, it was nice just for me just because there wasn't a lot of people who were watching, because I watched it like early in the day on Wednesday, so I kind of was able to. I still have my mask on because I need to be safe, but it was still like it was nice to not to have so many people around because I could actually just focus on. Because I remember the first Doctor Strange movie, I just I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like Doctor Strange 1. Like it didn't really mesh well with me, but it's fine for what it is. I mean, it's more enjoyable than the Ant-Man movies, or at least Ant-Man 1. But with this one, because I love Sam Raimi. I love what Sam Raimi has done with just Spider-Man, just other things that he's done in Hollywood. So I was very excited going to this, and also just finally be able to see some of the things that I've been told, like X amount of months or maybe a year, because I was like, I want to see just what this looks like. Yes, like on paper, when someone says, this will happen, I'm like, cool, but I don't know what it looks like. Like what's what costume may they have, like what's the setting and so on. So main thought was that I think it's a step up from the first one, definitely, and I think this is really. Like I could tell that Sam Raimi must have had so much fun with this because he is from that horror element, and so I think he was a good fit, and probably more maybe than Scott Derrickson, to be honest. And I feel that this time it felt like, and again, I know there's already people talking about like there's it seems that it got maybe edited or so in the back or whatever and whatnot, but. Or that there's some things been cut out that was supposed to be initially, but it felt like they knew a little bit more what they wanted to do with this film compared to the last one. So, but I definitely have some issues. It's not a perfect. I think if I can say this from the get-go, I think Spider-Man: No Way Home is still superior to.
Oh yeah,
this one. But what about you? What were your main thoughts on this?
I definitely liked it more than the first one. I feel like the first film had to be that way where it wasn't too. I mean, it was trippy and crazy, and it's a whole new side of the MCU that we really haven't seen too much before that first film. So I think it needed to go in that direction. This film didn't have to set up Doctor Strange, but the thing is, if you wanted to get the full grasp of what's happening, you had to, of course, seen Doctor Strange 1, but that's kind of a given. But you had to have seen WandaVision to fully get the backstory of why she's doing what she's doing and how much this is affecting her. What if people say what if as a prerequisite? I don't think necessarily it is unless you want to really dive into multiverse stories. But realistically, you don't need to have seen what if to watch this movie. At least in my opinion, I don't think you had to. And I feel like overall, Sam Raimi went full Sam Raimi. Like he really had a lot of fun with certain shots, the way, like just certain things that were in this movie. It just felt like this is what Sam Raimi would do with an MCU movie. I really liked how they approached Wanda's side of the story and how the multiverse was actually used in this film, because at times it really felt like we're going really bonkers here with traveling through the different multiverses. That whole segment where Strange and America Chavez are going through different universes like every couple seconds I want to go back and just watch that over and over and over and just pause at each universe shift to see, because there's so much happening at once. I'm like, there's stuff that we're missing here clearly. And the whole thing of the incursion and how that could happen when two universes are colliding, essentially. We had saw that in the third act with the other Strange, which that has been shown in the marketing. And just overall, I really liked how it was approached. I do wish at times it was longer, but I'll get to that in critiques and in terms of certain things I wish was like more explained, or maybe just we spent more time with. But overall, I was happy with it. You know, and I do like the fact that it was 2 hours. Like we weren't wasting a lot of time, but at the same time, I wish there were certain things I was like, kind of wish we had more time here. But overall, I was like, okay, like Sam had fun and everybody did pretty good. Like I really was like, I was fully paying attention to everything that was happening in this movie, because there was times where it slows down, but it really was a fast-paced movie. Like you weren't wasting too much time on certain stuff, and it felt like every scene had a purpose, which is very good, because a lot of times movies will have scenes that don't really need to be in there. They're just kind of thrown in to kind of help with the runtime. But it felt like every single scene had, like in this movie, made sense. It had to be there.
Yeah, people were complaining a little about. I saw people comment about that this needed to be like another 20 minutes longer or something. I'm like, no, I think they got to the point already. And so I think some people who are wishing for this to be longer are probably saying it because they probably wanted more cameos or whatever and so on.
That is our next thing we're getting into. But any other thoughts before we get into our cameos?
I'm just want to go through super chat quickly. Jennifer sends another one, says, I have not seen How Long Will You Guys Be? I would say probably like a good 20-30 minutes. And then, but so like I would say, if you guys, here's what we can do. If you haven't seen the movie, when we're done, we can throw up a tab down that says Doctor Strange 2 discussion over, come back or something like that. And then, so you don't have to leave the stream, don't leave the stream, just put us on mute. And because we're not, we don't have any images from the film. There's nothing you will be able to see from the film for our review.
Yeah. So, I have a live questions time. I'll throw that up. So it is Q&A. That doesn't mean that someone in the actual comments will not bring up a spoiler, but we will personally not be like openly discussing it willy-nilly, But,
we have a super chat from Red Proctor. Thank you so much, sir. I think John Krasinski is definitely directing a star in Fantastic Four. Hopefully Emily Blunt will be Invisible Woman. My pick for Human Torch is Zac Efron, who will play the Thing. That's a toss-up.
Okay. I do think this is possible, and we'll actually talk about this in a second, because I think there's definitely more credibility to this. But it's the fan casting forever that John Krasinski is going to be starring and everything, and Emily Blunt's going to be Invisible Woman and all that. And I've heard the Zac Efron stuff a lot. I don't know what specifically why people want Zac Efron as Human Torch.
He said he was doing an interview a couple of days ago where he said like he would love to be in a Marvel movie. But it's like,
so they're throwing that in. Okay.
Yeah, well, but this is the funny thing that I always been laughing at is the fact that yes, like any actor, if you ask them, hey, would you like a job that pays you a lot of money?
Yeah,
Of course they're gonna say
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And I don't mind Zac Efron, but like I will say my thoughts when we get to the Fantastic Four stuff. But
Okay.
so
Okay. Well, yeah. So that's our main thoughts. We are getting into heavy spoilers. Okay, guys. So if we're not showing images, but here we go. Cameos. Okay, so it's fair to say this movie is not cameo like centric. Like this thing does not have a lot of cameos. Your really only cameos is the Illuminati, which they already spoiled half of them.
hmm.
Now, in regards to the cameos, Captain Carter, nice pull from What If. I like the fact that she was there. Now, this has been rumored forever, but we didn't know for sure. Anson Mount as Black Bolt. He got to redeem himself. Even though the Illuminati was not in the movie much, which that's part of my critiques, actually, but he was in a comic accurate suit. It felt kind of weird because he wasn't really shown too much. I think if we would have seen him more in the suit, it probably would have maybe just go, yeah, okay. And I was just used to seeing him in that horrible version from the Inhumans show. But I like the fact that they literally brought him and have him in an actual proper suit. The Captain Marvel, is it Renee Montoya? Yeah, I think it's Renee Montoya. Is that her name?
Renee Montoya, that's
No.
DC.
I'm
Maria Rambo.
Maria Rambo. I'm getting names mixed up. I've had a long day.
And also ethnicities.
Dude, you gotta understand, I'm all over the place. I can't remember a lot of names. And it's like, because for the longest time people thought, because the images they were showing in the trailers, like, is that Superior Iron Man? Is that Tom Cruise? I don't know.
Yeah, that would be a very black Tom Cruise in that case, and also a very black.
I think it was
female Tom Cruise.
I think it was the first time they showed it. People like it's so blurry from the screenshots. People were like, is that Superior Iron Man?
Look nothing like him. So I was like laughing my ass off that night. I'm like, wait, why is Tom Cruise trending right now? And I checked. I'm like, oh, come on, y'all. Like, it's like you're all trying to manifest something that isn't there. So, but each to your own, I guess.
So seeing her was kind of cool, even though she really didn't do much. John Krasinski as freaking Mischief. And this thing too, when they introduced him, they also made sure to say from the Fantastic Four. They could have just said Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, but they made sure to say the Fantastic Four. So they threw that in. That was awesome. Fan casted for years, and of course they brought him in. The rumor for a while was that they brought back the actor from the 2 Fantastic Four films from the 2000s. That was the rumor, that he was going to be reprising his role. So seeing him was really cool because, like, oh, they actually listened to the fans. And then we, of course, had Charles Xavier in his 90s animated chair, which they played the theme.
Yeah.
That was awesome. It's more in the critique segment next, but they weren't in it much. But I'm also kind of glad this movie wasn't cameo, like just over the top, just a ton of cameos, because I felt like it would have just taken away from the story. But how did you feel about the cameos we had? And do you think there should have been more, or do you think that there shouldn't have been because it would have changed the movie's tone?
The thing that is so risky with these kind of films is that, the name of the movie is called Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This is a Doctor Strange movie. Stephen Strange is a central character here. The story is about progressing his evolution throughout the MCU, and it's not it's not called cameos in the Multiverse of Madness featuring special guest star Doctor Strange.
Cameos.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, so for me, like they did what they were supposed. Here's the thing. I think that people need to start like redefining what the word cameo is to supporting role, because the thing is, cameo for me in my head is when a character shows up for less than 1 minute, doesn't really do anything, and it's just like blink it or you miss it. For this, I see these as supporting characters. Like if we let's use TV terms for a second, like they would likely be that like the one DC character who shows up on Flash for just 1 week as a guest. Like that's the cool I would see as they have a role, but they're not. The episode isn't fully about them.
Mhm.
So, I think they fulfilled what they needed to. Would have been fun to have seen other cameos. Definitely, definitely. I mean, I think it would have been. It would have been fun if Toby had showed up because Sam and him, or,
Exactly. Yeah.
but it was. I mean, it was at that point. It was already too late. I knew that he was never there. He never felt like when they did the extensive reshoots, like right before No Way Home, I think came out, or a couple of weeks before No Way Home came out. Like Toby was never there. But I think these cameos were awesome. I think that I mean, again, I think the most iconic one obviously is Professor X,
Mhm.
with the chair, with Patrick Stewart, the theme, and you know I when when the Anson Mounts thing leaked a couple of months ago or something, like I'm like, they're gonna. I think so many people are gonna be so pissed that Inhumans wasn't done more, even more right when it was on TV, because it's like this, I mean, Anson Mount is a phenomenal actor. He was, the main problem with Inhumans was the damn showrunner, so to see him in that classic suit, and again, I heard about The Crown, whatever, so but I'm like, is it really you're just gonna point the stick up in all the time? And when my source was like, don't worry, it's they found a way to make it look natural, but they're like, because we were all laughing at the helmet, like, are they actually gonna make it work? But
Mhm.
and I've been on the record multiple times that I've never cared for the idea of John Krasinski as Reed Richards. I think most people only want to see him as Reed Richards because he kind of looks like the current version, who has like the beard, who looks a little older now and
Yeah.
so on. I think that's the main reason, because again, I never really connected with him as an actor. He's fine, but like, I think there's more interesting choices out there for Reed Richards, um because when I saw him in that cameo, like, it's the problem that I had when I saw Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern. Oh, look, it's Ryan Reynolds in a Green Lantern costume. I never thought, oh, that's Hal Jordan. Like for example, when we look at Grant Gustin as the Flash, like, I never think of that's an actor playing a fictional role. No, that is Barry Allen in a live action format, and that was the thing I didn't get with John's take on Reed Richards. And I personally, I think I'm hoping that whenever whoever ends up directing Fantastic Four, that because the thing that's so good with because this wasn't 616. And I'm glad they also said 616. It's like
Yeah.
finally, like,
Yeah.
I'm
They
glad
finally confirmed it.
yeah, because I remember in Spider-Man 2, like Mysterio like joked about, like, oh, this is 616. No, but like, actually it is 616. So thank God for that. Like, obviously we haven't met the 616 version yet, Reed, and nothing said that he has to look like John. We have three Barry Allens that look different from each other. We have three Supergirls who look different from each other. We have three Spider-Man who look different from each other. So I'm hoping personally they go with something more interesting, something that will actually, like, I don't know if I want like these major Hollywood A-listers to be doing some of these. I would actually love something, I don't want to think that, oh, look, it's John Krasinski wearing I will say the suit was sick, though. I kind of hope that that's kind of what the version they will stick with when we see him in 616. Captain Carter, I'm an Agent Carter fanboy. I love Haley Atwell.
Yeah, that
She
was
is one.
awesome. Yeah.
But I don't. The thing that was because the reason that I felt like they killed them all these characters off is that obviously we can see them again, from wherever. And so, and that's why I don't think this was because you saw that I got confused before when you said, like, I don't think you guys have to watch What If to understand it. But
Mhm.
but what about you know evil Bennett, evil sorcerer, whatever his name is, and Captain Carter? So, but I don't think this is the Captain Carter we watched in season one. I think this is a
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
Captain Carter.
And I think that's the thing. I think this is their world's Captain America. It's Captain Carter. Like, I don't think it's
Mm,
the same exact one. I just feel like what they like. People are just throwing that in just because I think maybe because there is a Captain Carter in the What If the first episode, but also the fact that it covers a lot of multiverse stories, so you kind of get a better understanding of the multiverse. But not really, because they really dive into very specific things. Like, if you dream it, it's happening on another world in another version of you. So I like that aspect of it, and I think the whole thing of that was their world's Professor X. I don't think because people are saying, "Oh, this is a multiverse Illuminati." No, this is they're Avengers for this Earth, and they call themselves the Illuminati. This is not a because the rumor for the longest time, from what people were saying, is like, oh, this is a multiverse Illuminati. They're pulling different people from different worlds because Captain Carter was rumored. So like, okay, because they pulled it from her Earth, and it's a multiverse thing. No, this is their Earth.
It's a fun idea, though. I think that it's like something that could have been easily feasible to do, but
and I think that would have made it more interesting, because then it would be like, okay, so this Reed Richards is from this Earth, and now he's over here. And this Professor X is from another Earth, and they're being brought over here. But the way they explain it is that this was our team, because remember when Strange says, "What, you're Avengers? You're like, what are you? Avengers? Shield? Hydra?" He's just throwing out teams or like groups. So I'm guessing 616, they don't have an Illuminati, at least as far as we don't know, but he doesn't know about that. But on their Earth, they don't have an Avengers, because it says Earth's Mightiest Hero, but they call themselves the Illuminati, and they had a Thanos who were trying to get the Infinity Stones, and that Strange took the Darkhold, and that's where everything went to shit. Because they were on Titan in that scene where Black Bolt had to obliterate. That was insane, by the way. Just the effects. I'm sorry. So like, that was really weird at first. I'm like, the fuck is happening? But like, I understand what was happening.
It's his power, and I was like, can you do it to me, Daddy, please?
I know the power. I'm just saying the way they, like, sound wise, made it feel. Because if you remember the Inhuman show, if you watch the whole show, at the end when he actually knocks down the building, it's just, he says it once and then it just sonic booms it down, this building. But here, when he says, "I'm sorry," it's echoing and getting louder, and this like screeching noise. I felt that was interesting, because I'm like, okay, this is definitely different, and it's really bizarre. And just the fact that it's showing the constant wave and it gets stronger and it's obliterating him is brutal. Yeah. They did a good job with that. But with that question earlier about John Krasinski, I do think this is setting up he's going to be directing, and I'm not saying that's for a fact, but it's just kind of weird how this news came out right before this movie, where they introduced officially in the MCU through Multiverse, this is Reed Richards. I'm not saying
they announced what news.
Well, the news that John Watts is not directing Fantastic Four. This came out right before this movie. I feel like that's kind of weird timing.
Sometimes it's just to prevent press from getting words of it first, because they want to control the narrative. So
that's what I'm saying. They might want to control the narrative, because there might be an announcement after this weekend.
Either that, or it could have been just that they didn't want this to leak from like a variety or something, and then have to be like, oh well, here's our statement. No, they want to be like, this has happened, and probably like, so it doesn't. It could be your way, it could be my way, it could be something else. I'm just I just don't know if we're gonna hear anything about Fantastic Four for a while. Like, again, I don't think it's because of this movie. I think it's because, one, I don't even think there's a script at this point. I think that's kind of been tossed out for the moment. But
they might be reworking it, and
probably,
people are talking about how they're probably variants. There's been a lot of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. talk. Yep, Anson Mount is great in Star Trek as Captain Pike. Okay. And I agree with this. We're not going to see Patrick Stewart playing Xavier in the reboot for MCU. It's not going to happen. I feel like this was just a way for him to play another version of, because there's an interview that came out today from Patrick Stewart about how he was kind of wary about doing this, because he thought the way his role ended in Logan was perfect. He didn't want to do it, but since it was so different, he said, okay, I'll come back for this. And the fact that, okay, so let's get to critiques. Because, the rumor for a while was, of course, we had a lot of cameos, but turns out not so much. Let's get to critiques. What are some of the things you had issues with this movie? Things that you wish would have been different, or maybe you thought would have made it better? What are your thoughts?
I think the large problem at the end of it is the way they tackled Wanda. Because this was not really the direction I saw after that WandaVision finale. Like, I didn't see. It felt like because I was almost hoping that okay, it's just it's another Wanda from another universe who is going to greater lengths to get her kids, and that because we knew that Wanda was that Elizabeth Olsen was going to play multiple versions of herself, but this wasn't really what I thought it was going. And I feel like in a way, Doctor Strange 2 is kind of a fuck you to WandaVision in some ways, because
How so?
Because I don't feel like this was a trajectory they were going in after. Like I felt that with WandaVision, I think when I look at the finale and then look at this movie, I don't really see like how she would like why specifically like why was it specifically a teenage girl with the multiverse power that she would go after? I think that's the weakest point of the movie is that you're telling me that the Darkhold that is so mighty and powerful that couldn't find like a clearer way to get her to the universe that she wanted to, or get to any universe that she wanted to, so she could get Billy and Tommy back. Like you're telling me that the best they could come up with was, I need to murder this teenage girl and take her power. Like I felt that's very lazy writing. But and again, I feel like it's again like it kind of takes away so much from what they did, because I think one of it is like honestly one of the top 3 best MCU shows we've had on Disney Plus. Like I don't think so. Again, I know there's been other shows that's come along the way, but I just feel like WandaVision is it set the bar so high, and I don't feel like the other shows have gotten there yet. So, but yeah, that's why I don't see any correlation between the one that we see in the finale and the way we see her, like, because obviously some time has passed on since WandaVision season 1, but it was still very like, this is what we're getting. Like you're gonna like you're taking her. It's like it was a major step forward, but then 2 steps backward. Where I felt like it would have been more. I thought it would be more interesting to see like another Wanda from another universe as the big bad. I could be okay with that. I just don't like that this is the way because this is our Wanda. This is our Wanda that we were spending almost 6-7 years now, and like I feel like it's
she first appeared in the after credit sequence of Winter Soldier 2014.
Yeah, so that was like my main critique in the end, and I don't know how you feel, but I can mention my other part after this. But what were some of your critiques with the film?
Okay, so what I'll say is this about your critique on Wanda. They explained heavily that the dark. Cause you saw the after credit sequence in Wanda.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I made a point to rewatch WandaVision the last few episodes before I even went to see the movie.
So I think their explanation about the Darkhold really changing you and possessing you in that aspect, and the fact is when the reveal came of where the meadow, all the bright trees and everything that Strange saw was a complete lie, and everything around her was completely red and death basically, just dead. The Darkhold really changed her, I think, and what I think is that she was so obsessed with this idea of her kids that the Darkhold just gave in to that obsession and just made that worse. I feel like if she had other thoughts, the Darkhold would have made it worse on whatever those thoughts are. But for her specifically, it's about getting her kids no matter what. She wants those kids. And so I felt like they did a pretty good job of that. I will say this. I feel like maybe they could have done some more screen time in this movie to kind of establish it even more before she starts murdering all those people towards the beginning, trying to get to America Chavez, in terms of maybe there's more of a conversation, or maybe just more of just establishing that possession and that darkness from the Darkhold on her. So to the critique specifically, I feel that the Illuminati were not, how do I say this? The Illuminati didn't really do much in this movie. They literally appeared and died. And I felt that they should have probably, because you made a good point. They're not cameos per se. They're supporting role, because they appear for more than a minute. They're in the film for at least a couple minutes at least. I feel like they should have had more of a role in this movie. If you're going to have them in the movie, maybe the fight sequence between Wanda could have went on longer with all of them. Maybe that could have been more interesting. Maybe because it would have been interesting if Wanda would have been fighting Mr. Fantastic, Captain Carter, Captain Marvel, Black Bolt all at once for like a good, because the fight was going on extensively between her and Captain Carter and Captain Marvel, but Black Bolt and Reed Richards, they got rid of them immediately. And I felt like that was just kind of like, okay. I just kind of wish the Illuminati would have had more of a role, like maybe not so much just talking more in that scene with Strange, but maybe just having more screen time with them, because I felt like this is a whole new team of people I would have liked to have kind of seen more than just what we did. But that's just me, because I just felt like, because like, the movie's fast paced, so maybe that's why it was like done.
Yeah,
Because
2 hours and 6 minutes. I think that's like one of the shortest MCU films we've had in a while.
it definitely is. People were kind of shocked when that runtime came out. They're like, "Oh, this is fake." I just wish they had more screen time. And I'm not saying like they take over 30 minutes a movie, but I'm just saying if you're gonna bring in John Krasinski, you're gonna have him play Reed Richards, the fan cast for years. You're gonna bring because like also Patrick Stewart confirmed he only shot for a day and a half and he was done because he had hardly anything to do. I just kind of wish they had more time.
Here's what I will add this to you, because I agree about the Illuminati, but only to a point. Because here's what I think they should have done by the end of the film is, obviously there's a reason they brought in the Illuminati, because I think this is one of the groups they're going to focus on in the MCU on our Earth, on Earth 616. Yeah, we're in the same universe as them. But I think I wish there had been at least a moment where Steven kind of like, this isn't a bad idea. And maybe think of like, who could I assemble on my Earth to kind of come together, and like, because there's no way in hell that we're not getting an Illuminati, like whether it's years from now, months from now, or in a future fate or something. But I feel like there is going to be a team that Stephen Strange will be leading with similar characters. Obviously not a Captain Carter, because Peggy is dead on their world, and maybe they they find a way to kind of like revisit Anson Mount Black Bolt on that Earth, but kind of like again. Remember, guys, when I said a couple months episodes ago when I talked about like soft rebooting, where like nothing gets retconned, you bring in the same character from said whatever, but you just don't talk about there's nothing from that from Inhuman season 1 that you really have to bring up. We can just say that he has like he's we know he's on Earth. He and Medusa and all the humans are on Earth, but maybe somehow there has been something where like they have redeveloped the society. They look different and whatnot, so on. So I think that's I think that's gonna come to fruition at some point. And then with Fantastic Four again, I mean, I think you are just gonna disagree there. I think it would be better if they can't, like when people will bring up Emily Blunt and Zac Efron, I'm like, they are such Hollywood A-listers that I'm like, I cannot see them as like, I can see performance. I'm sure they will be great, but they will never for 1 minute make me real sink in and think, oh, this is Sue and Reed and the Fang. No, these are these actors in these costumes. Oh wait, Sakura looks like a rock, so why waste good looks?
My thing is, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I don't care what they do. I'm just saying I just have a stinking suspicion that it's going to be John Krasinski directing and starring. But it doesn't really matter to me, because more than likely, whoever they cast, they're going to have to sign for a big contract, because Fantastic Four is not going to be going away anytime soon. They're going to have these characters be around for a while.
Yeah, so, a trilogy, a bunch of appearances in other movies, 10 TV shows because of Disney Plus.
And you're thinking about the Illuminati being a thing for 616 for our Earth. I think that would have been interesting if maybe the Illuminati would have let our Strange go, and actually he's starting to get to know these people, because they actually don't think he's going to get corrupted, or but they had this whole point where our Strange was corrupted, so all strangers are corrupted. I think it would have been interesting if maybe they would have found some ground, like common ground, where maybe they trust him, because I mean, Professor X trusted him, and says, if you do get out of here, which is implying he knows he's going to find a way out, saying, we'll see what kind of Doctor Strange you are. We'll find out. I think that was interesting. That's why I kind of wish maybe there was some more, because I feel like with Charles Xavier, like he was very well respected by that group. So maybe if they all would have been there to hear him say, I don't think this is actually a bad guy. This Strange is not our Strange. But then the ramifications of it all, of course, he uses the dark hole to go against, Wanda. So there's all that too. In terms of other critiques, I mean, I really just feel maybe that sometimes in Raimi went full Raimi. There was just some times where style took over a little bit too much, where it was just more style than substance. But I really felt the Sam Raimi just went all out. And I feel like that's better than just letting him do kind of his own thing. I feel like if since they brought Sam Raimi, like Kevin Feige knew he's going to go crazy. And I feel like, okay, just let him do what he wants. I mean, as long as, because I followed the story. I had no issue with following the story, as long as it doesn't become like that. And I mean, he literally turned made this feel kind of like Evil Dead a little bit, as much as he could before it got R. But I mean, he went all out. And I mean, my only main thing is I just kind of wish certain things were longer or whatever, in terms of scenes. But
For me, I think for me, like I think there's always a risk when asking for something like it. I mean, of course, in a perfect world, who wouldn't want to see Patrick Stewart just, you know, just be absolutely Patrick Stewart and Professor XC with anyone in that film? But at the same time, I think there's always a risk where, like, who becomes the star of the show? Is it Anson Mount and Patrick Stewart and Haley Atwell and John Krasinski and I'm blanking on the actor who plays Maria, but like, do they become? But who will become the star then? Who is it that people actually are talking about this film? And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to Doctor Strange. This needed to be a Doctor Strange movie at the forefront, and I think that, and more than anything, I think that America Chavez, who I have not really followed her much, and I haven't read any of her comments, but I know who she is. I know a little bit about her, and I think it was important to make sure that we got her in there. That she was a principal character there, because at the end of the day, the story is really Steven, Wanda, and America's story, and the cameos, like that's a nice bonus to kind of explore what. Well, one, it's nice to explore what these characters could potentially be in 616, because obviously, like, there's a reason they picked. I mean, again, with Maria, like, I think that was more to kind of like honor Captain Marvel a little bit and so on, but also kind of like have someone who was an Iron Man, and also kind of be like, hey, how about we don't just do another rich white dude as a superhero? I think that was actually really cool of them to do that with this Captain Marvel, but yeah, like, with Black, I mean, it was essentially it is as authentic and accurate to Illuminati as they could possibly get, minus Iron Man and Namor. But I don't know.
Yeah, the rumor for the longest time Namor was going to be in this.
I never heard that one. I feel like people are just always talking about like Namor, like in terms of like he's going to be in Black Panther 2 or something like that.
There was that, but there was also the rumor that Namor was going to be in the Illuminati, that he was going to pop up there. Or also there was a rumor that it was going to be Killmonger's Black Panther was going to be in the Illuminati. There's a lot of rumors of who was on that council.
And in a lot of times when there's like this is what it's toxic what has become of like just internet rumor mill. It's like anyone can literally make up something now and people are just running with it, and it's I don't think it's professional. I don't think it's ethical, and that's why I'm like, I always encourage like whether it's on the Flash Podcast or on this show, like, just don't believe everything you always read, because like I can go right now and say that Wally West is gonna kill everyone on the Flash in season 9.
Why did you spoil that? Why did you spoil that? I wrote that episode. I told you in confidence you wouldn't say anything.
No, but you get my point. Like, anyone can make shit up, and that's why I'm like, like and for me, like, I don't have time to focus on everything. That's why, like, when I hear people saying that, oh, this character was rumored, that character was rumored, that, I'm like, never heard it, but also never cared, because 9 out of 10 times some of those things are usually fake. So,
well, speaking of that, I read one like plot leak that came out months ago that was so ridiculous that the movie would have cost like $300-400 million to make it, because there was like at one point they claimed that 4 of the original X-Men from the Fox X-Men era, Hugh Jackman, Famke Jensen, James Marsden, and Halle Berry showed up as Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Storm. And then we had the Thing from Michael Chiklis Thing from the Fantastic Four show up, and there was Ghost Rider, Nicolas Cage. Like, there was so much stuff that was just coming out, like, just making no sense. And I'm like, and then they said Edward Norton's Hulk. His Hulk's already in the MCU. It's just a different actor. It's Mark Ruffalo now. Like, why would it be specifically Edward Norton's Hulk? It's like, okay, if they were to pull all this stuff out, number one, there would be no way they keep all this a secret. There was too many actors they would have had to have gotten in. Plus, the budget would have ballooned up to $300-400 million to get all these people in. It just would not have worked. And the movie would not have been a Doctor Strange movie. You might as well have called it Marvel in the Multiverse of Madness, because it would have covered everything. Because at one point they said Wanda just destroys the universe where Fan Four Stick comes from, the 2015. Like she just
That
destroys that
I
universe.
mean, that would be beautiful, but
That wouldn't happen.
and here's the thing. I think the reason, like, I think that because this film was done during the pandemic, so I think I honestly, I'm not hinting at anything. What I'm saying though is I'm almost very certain there would have been at least 2 or 3 more cameos if
Probably.
the pandemic has not happened. You were talking about the fight scene. Why wasn't one to fight all of them at once? It's probably COVID protocol. They couldn't have 6 actors doing things at the same time because probably because they are probably shooting a lot of green screen and so on, and those areas aren't always as big as people think. So,
And I'm pretty sure when they shot a lot of that Illuminati group shot, that some of them probably weren't even there on the same day as the others. They just green screened them in, probably. I mean, that's just my guess. I mean, because you know how actor schedules are. Not everybody can be on set. Plus, they're not. They signed on to be in the movie, but they didn't sign on to like be a main act, like to be a lead or something where they have to be there all the time. They just come in when they could, So I feel like maybe there was some of those actors showed up and the others weren't even there. And I mean, look, because the way they shot that whole sequence where they're on the row of seats, they all didn't have to be there for that. Because a lot of those shots were close-up shots. Like they didn't have to all be there at the same time. So that was interesting. So final thoughts before we dive into Q&A, which you can talk spoilers for Doctor Strange if you guys want in the comments. We do have some super chats we'll get to in a minute, but yeah, Q&A for anything that's been happening. So final thoughts on the movie. Take it away.
I would say when it comes to, again, aside from my issues with Wanda, and I think that this movie made me care a little bit more for Steven as a character, because I mean, for the longest time I've just been like, I'm watching this movie for everyone else but him, because I don't find Doctor Strange very likable, and like that's why it was someone I was talking to a friend about it like after we had seen No Way Home. And he thought it was funny that they showed a Doctor Strange 2 trailer after the credits, and it's like, oh, like, who is going to be appealed to go see a Doctor Strange movie when he's so unlikable in No Way Home? Because he really is. It's not until that final scene where he's like, kind of implying that, yeah, I'm going to miss you too, Peter. But I think they do improve here. Like, he seems to kind of get his head out of his ass a little bit more than I expected. Like, he's still, like, his ego is full. Like, it's just like, bombastic, big. But I feel like he's getting... It was a good step forward without any steps backward. I think America Chavez was like, she was like the highlight of the film. And I think as much trouble as I had with the one as like the depiction in the film, I think Elizabeth Olsen gave one of like her all-time performances in this film.
Yeah.
Like to the point where like I know there's a lot of Benedict Cumberbatch fans in the world, but she outshined Benedict Cumberbatch throughout the whole thing. Like,
a lot of people are saying she was like she stole the movie.
She did steal the movie, and that's why I'm so sad that it's like this is like, I mean, obviously if we're gonna see her again or whatever, so but it's like you've undone a lot of the hard work that we've now seen for the last 7 years. So, is it better than Spider-Man No Way Home? Hell no. Spider-Man No Way Home is like right now the centerpiece of Phase 4. I feel like if I had to rank the movies from Phase 4, No Way Home, Doctor Strange 2, and then fuck the rest because I don't give a crap. I don't like Eternals. I do not like Eternals whatsoever. Black Widow.
Did you not like Shang-Chi?
It's fine. I will say it's one of the best Marvel action movies. Because, I will say I think Shang-Chi's father is more interesting than Shang-Chi himself. And then Black Widow, I only watched it for Yelena.
Actually did a villain pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like he can get it. I'm just saying. So for me, like, I mean, he can get it, and like, I love Shang-Chi's sister. She was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping that we see more of her.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure with her taking over the 10 Rings.
Yeah, and then with Black Widow, I only watched because of Yelena, but I did love the other supporting character. But like, I tapped out of Natasha like a long time ago. So yeah, I would say Doctor Strange 2 is right now number 2 on my list. But at the same time, because I don't really care about the other films, like it's at the bottom of my list right now. So I would probably give it like a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay. For me, I think it's definitely one of the better MCU films in my opinion, and not just because the cameos. I really just liked how they went about telling Wanda's story and her getting corrupted by the Darkhold, and the fact that we didn't talk about this. She has a fucking throne. She destroyed it, but she had a throne. The Scarlet Witch had a throne. It wasn't a tomb. It was a throne. I'm like, what? Because like when those creatures bowed, I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And that statue behind her, I'm like, holy shit. Because like when Wong was talking about the Scarlet Witch, and then when of course Agatha Harkness and WandaVision talk about the Scarlet Witch, this whole thing, it's like it's like this myth. And the fact is like she's the Scarlet Witch. Like this is crazy. Like so it really goes to show how important that is. And it's crazy, for the longest time they never called her the Scarlet Witch. It's because she wasn't there yet. And so like, okay, so they found a story purpose. She actually hasn't become it because she's just Wanda. Of course, for the longest time they were trying to steer clear for her being the daughter of Magneto, which I feel like at this point they're going to retcon that. I'm not saying they are, but I feel like they might change that up. And to reveal that the parents that died at the Stark Tech was not actually her parents. It was all like messed up in her head. Her father is Magneto, but we just haven't seen him yet. That's just my theory.
I mean, they could just be her adopted parents. So
that's what I'm saying. I think that too. I think she was adopted early on, and so was her brother, and Magneto is truly her father. And she, for the longest time, has no idea. So I think that's going to be it. I think they're going to really work with that. But overall, I had a good time with the film. I do wish it was longer at times, but I think it's definitely worth the watch. And I think to anybody that if you know that Sam Raimi's directing, you know what he's done his work in the past. There is horror aspects. There's been some people that didn't like the movie because they thought, oh, I didn't know the horror parts were going to come up. Like, guys,
that was the best part, because I'm like, for one, I'm like, it's not just another slapstick comedy movie.
Exactly.
Like, the MCU, if there's one thing that Kevin Feige needs to take to heart, and I'm begging him, I would get down on my knees and beg him to just consider this. Let's ease down on the comedy, because like sometimes like I can barely remember what some of these fucking romantic plugs are actually all about, because they are focusing so hard on getting in jokes. That's why I'm like, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, don't know her. I don't know her. I don't. She could be walking. He could be walking down the street, and I wouldn't know a thing. So, but this film, I'm like, I could remember some of the great part, and I think that I'm like, if they haven't already locked in Sam Raimi for like something more in the MCU, then
I really hope they do. Yeah, so we have a couple super chats. We're actually going to take off the banner here because we have Q&A time. Q&A. Ask us questions or we'll fucking leave. That is the new Q&A song, everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I sang last week, and you're like, what the hell? Live Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we got some super chats, dude. Let me scroll back and find them. Where are they at? Oh, I had them and they went away. Here we go. Okay. First super chat from Radical Z, and then we'll get to your other question. We have a couple we got to get to. I feel bad for Wanda, but damn, my mom called her hair a bee. Okay.
Damn.
Also, WandaVision was my least favorite show personally. Okay. Well, that's
fair enough.
Fine. I did you like the right? I say showed her with the kids at the beginning of the movie.
That
they
was
actually
cute.
Played a little bit. I was waiting for WandaVision. They didn't.
Wait, hold on. We haven't even talked about the post-credit scenes.
Oh, we didn't. Okay, hold on. Okay, there's rumor the Scarlet Witch movie. Yeah, I heard that rumor too. We'll see.
I had a rumor that I have a dick.
What? Okay, so we'll get back. We'll just pull this up real quick. So final thoughts. Okay, so after credit sequence. Okay, so do you want to talk about the first one or the second one? Because the second one, I mean,
the first one is the one that has substance. I'm like,
yes, exactly. Okay.
I have no fucking clue who Charlie was supposed to play. So I'm like, what am I?
Clea.
Who the fuck is Clea?
She's the niece of Dormammu.
Oh, right, he's still around. I forgot about him.
You know when she cut that space in the.
I laughed. I don't know why that looked so funny to me.
When she cut into it, I mean, it looked kind of weird. But when she cut into it, that's the dark dimension where Dormammu's from. I'm wondering what incursion on what world. Was it the world, the Illuminati world? Because he was on there for a while. Could it be that that's the incursion, that it's going to be involving that world? Because it's when you're meddling too much in another world. Because like that's what Reed Richards pointed out. It's like, hey, you know, an incursion happens when you meddle with you leave too much of a footprint, and it causes those two worlds. Because we saw that other Strange with the third eye, in that house that was like half a house, half ocean, whatever. It's kind of a weird thing. And then there's like the spiral of stuff in that room. I you know, I feel like it's probably the world he was just in with the Illuminati is what he messed up, because Wanda going after him and America Chavez on that world and killing all those heroes probably did some major ramifications.
But what if when they were when we had the montage, which by the way, if that doesn't even if those effects does not get an Academy Award, then
Oh yeah,
I mean, like, again, suck my dick, Oscars. I don't even really care. But it's like I'll be profound that if they're like if they don't at least because that is some of the most visually beautiful things I've seen in the MCU, in a good while. Like like that actually like it's something new, something different. Like so, I'm really hoping that gets some love. But I thought like because I thought that another reason for the incursion was because they were traveling between so many different realities that maybe I mean you would figure that there must have been some ramification from coming through at least one of them. Let's say they travel through at least 20 worlds.
at least.
If
Yeah.
if you're telling me that not at least one of those worlds triggers another incursion, then the stakes are very low to me. So
are we gonna do it? So I'm guessing it's another multiverse situation we're having to deal with here again, or something to that effect for the third movie. I would think.
see this is the thing because I don't even know what a third movie would look like. That's the thing. I don't know what to do with with Doctor Strange as a character outside, like in even his own movies. So I'm just very curious to see like what they're actually gonna do, and also his thing because I feel like the multiverse thing is. I mean, we're gonna have it at least probably for in Phase 5 as well and so on. But I just wonder by the time Doctor Strange 3 comes out, is the multiverse still even gonna be like a really really huge thing for Marvel Studios, or is it kind of like are we gonna easing down a little bit on that?
I think it's still gonna be a major thing. You can't not cover the multiverse. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I feel like it's gonna be a major thing still. So are you ready to get back into Q&A? Are we ready just to?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't have much to say about the segment. I mean, that was I just like I did I kind of lulled like very like I wasn't expecting it, and
I like this question because it was rumored that we were going to see White Vision because he was in WandaVision and he didn't appear. No Vision at all in this movie. I thought maybe they would tie it in because of WandaVision's connection, but I guess they have plans for White Vision. I mean, I was surprised there was no Vision at all because her whole obsession was to have Vision and her kids, and now it's just the kids. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure.
I didn't even think about Vision in this at all. I was focusing. Okay, she wants her kids back, but I don't know.
Secret Wars definitely being set up with incursions, possibly. Yeah, I mean, Secret Wars is slowly coming along. Jennifer sent a $20 super chat just to send it in. Thank you, Jennifer, so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the $5 super chat, Jennifer. How's my grandfather? He's hanging in there. Without getting into specifics, he's stubborn. So apparently he's getting a little aggressive with the people that are taking care of him in the facility he's in. So, but he's just being himself. I mean, from what I'm understanding, he's definitely doing better. He's just not ready to leave. He has to stay there at the facility for a bit. And from there, I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, thank you for the question and thank you for the super chat. And let's see what other people have been saying because I saw people talking about their likes and dislikes for the movie and all that. Yeah, so Anson Mount's having a great week. Yeah, so his new show on Paramount just aired. Apparently, it's really good. I haven't seen it.
I've heard that the Star Trek shows are elevating that brand a lot more than even the movies are. So I'm glad that people are that like because I think that everything has to be on the big screen. So I think and I heard that his Captain Pike is like awesome. So good. I'm happy for him. Anson deserves to work and he's awesome.
Well, thank you for missing us. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we did a show last week, right?
We did. I think that we're just we just don't do. I guess we just don't do a show enough. I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, we will.
Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Another $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Yes, he is. He's definitely pulling through. But thank you once again. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Had a movie come out this week that I was in. Yay. That was great. Woo. Anybody see it? No? Okay. I didn't see it. Anybody see it? No? Probably not, because it wasn't on my channel. So there's that. He doesn't. Hey, Jordan, you're back. Hey, welcome back. Yeah, we're there might be spoilers in the chat, but we're answering all questions. So yeah. He has no idea what to say. Sorry, hey, look, we're all having fun. You know, we're all having fun.
Wait, are we still talking about you know who?
I just liked your GIF you sent me when I posted my thing. You're like hug.
Yeah, well, of course it had to be. Of course,
I appreciated the hug.
But hey, if you're watching,
all I will say is this: somebody who went to the thing saw it on my Facebook page, on my Facebook post, and put the shocked emoji. Like, what? Exactly. I know.
Again, if you're watching, you know what finger I showed you.
The ring finger. I got a nice little ring.
No, not you. I'm talking to.
I know.
There you go.
Yeah. It's got a blue in the middle.
You know what we can do? We can because I know people probably want to talk a little flash, you know, because
okay.
we just.
Oh yeah, we did have something major happen this week on the Flash. A little something major, and I knew it was coming. See, look, I had predicted, guys. I knew what was happening. I was like, guys, I know what's going to happen. I didn't know, but I figured. And so Andy's like, I got an interview. Like, cool. He's like, he didn't say nothing. But I was like, dude, I know who it is. He's like, just make sure to check out the Flash at 8 p.m.
Wait, let me hold on. Let me set the stage. So I called him on. I think I called him on Monday to just double confirm. Okay, we are good for Friday for Doctor Strange, right? And he said yes, and then we just kept talking and so on. But I told him like, hey, I'm gonna have to jump off in 45 or something, and just don't whatever you do, don't call me between this time and this time, because I will be doing an interview. He said, okay, cool. Who are you talking to? I'm like, whoever is dying on the Flash this week, because we all, I mean, that's I think as far as I could say, but what I didn't realize I enabled was that he would then go on to ask multiple times, who is dead, who is getting killed off. Like,
I knew you were going to tell me. I was just messing with you.
Yeah, but the thing I did that he kind of kept laughing at was that can you at least hint if it's someone that I know? And I'm like, what I can say, Jordan, is that you should watch the Flash on Wednesday at 8/7 on the CW, and remember to dare to defy, even though that network does not even know how to remember that tag itself. So
who dares to defy now?
Yeah, I mean, they just keep canceling everything, and especially for us people of color. But the thing that was just like, he kept like kind of poking hilariously, and I'm like, I can't say anything.
Okay, so here's what else I was doing too, guys, to him. So I said, as he was getting off the phone, and he told me about it, say, hey man, good luck with your Daniel Panamaker interview. And he's like,
I was like, I would love to talk to her one day.
Oh yeah, I know. I would love to talk to you. I'm like, oh, you mean soon? Yeah. And I remember like when we were on the phone right before your interview, I think I texted her or said the same thing. Yeah, good luck with your, and then they're like, well, what makes you think it's a she? I'm like, oh, okay, good luck with your the actor who plays Chester interview. I was just messing with him because I figured it's gonna be Killer Frost, but I just felt like it was funny that I just kept like just like poking, like
yeah.
But hey, your interview came out great, and Jordan also says your interview was great.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it. It's
longest interview too. Longest interview from what we're understanding. He might have got the longest interview with her. At least
very blessed. You know, Danielle has she's been like, I mean, I've talked to her since season 1. She's always been very supportive of the Flash podcast, and because I was always there almost every year for those press rooms. She would always remember me. So we would talk casually. Sometimes in those press rooms and so on. And she, I mean, that's the thing. I think that the great thing is that when people know that you've been there since the beginning, and Jordan, stop it. Good Lord. No, but so when Yeah, and when I got offered it, I was just like, oh my god, of course I will. And we had a really great chat. She loved the show. She cared, and she's so grateful for it. And this was something they had prepared for quite a while. Like this was something that was pitched as early as last summer. So and this was something she was supportive of as well, because she did not want this to be a fake out. And I think that was really well said, because you know yes, even though we're in a superhero universe, we need to remember sometimes that people do die, sadly. We're gonna die one day, and that's sad too. So like, I think but the episode was really powerful. And thank you everyone who has supported it. It's on the flashbuckets.com website in text form. If you want to check out the YouTube video on DC Podcast, give us some views, or download the episode on iTunes. We really appreciate it. But yeah, it was she was a blast to talk to. And
yeah. Did you? I know she said aging. Did start aging, but she meant playing, because she reiterated. I played like a long time ago. I haven't played the game, but yeah, it definitely got better over time. But at first, it wasn't great. But it definitely got better over time.
I never played any. I think maybe I played one of the Star Wars games like several years ago.
Jedi Fallen Order is definitely worth playing. If there's one you need to play Jedi Fallen Order.
Listen, I will play anything that has Cameron Monaghan in it, so I'm like, game.
Let's see. Yeah, my Earth 838 had his wedding crash for Oliver. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't? Jordan, at this point, I did level down. I decided not to wear one tonight.
Wow, you have seriously leveled up.
We should alter to where it said level down. He seriously leveled down.
I cannot believe that's the thing. I started laughing at when he was like, Andy, would you say your interviews have leveled up?
Yeah, you were laughing at that. What's the hug for? Why am I getting a hug?
I think it was about your grandpa.
Maybe that's what it is. I'm just trying to verify what the hug's for. If it's for that or the other thing that happened this week, then I'll take the hug. I'm just curious. I have not seen it. I haven't. I was gonna watch it, but me and the wife have not seen it yet. But it came out randomly out of nowhere. Like it was like it dropped early as crap for my time zone. I thought it was weird.
Jordan, that's cruel to you to say that.
Cool. Also, I think the whole thing about Cisco, I think they need at least about how Cisco needs to know about what happened to Frost.
She definitely, Daniel. She definitely misses him. We did talk about Carlos a little bit.
Okay, yes, Fort Triple.
That means you haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football, but you will.
It's for that thing. Well, I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I got intel that everything is. I'm in the movie. That's all I know. Apparently, that's all I know. Awesome, Anthony. I'm glad you saw. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's awesome. Yeah, because we were discussing about, are we just gonna talk spoilers? I'm like, well, I mean, I think we should. Because I don't think we should have delayed the show earlier in the weekend or later in the weekend. I feel like we do the show on Fridays, and if anybody that sees the film after the show or hasn't seen it yet, they can just come back and watch it then. Because what else? Because as the week continued, I'm like, yeah, we made the right choice because there wasn't really much to talk about.
Yeah, no, and I also think that it's better that because I think about it this way for your channel. Like now you've gotten all your Doctor Strange content that you were planning to release, and so next week you have some windows open, and that's why for example, there's no Superman Lois on Tuesday, and because we didn't there wasn't really any news this week to really talk about. But like if there are things that somehow we have things to talk about before Friday, maybe we will do something.
Good question. I don't know.
I haven't seen those movies in a very long time, so I'm gonna just say Tony, only because that's like who I have like the freshest memory of.
Good question.
We will see.
Possibly. I have an interview coming out on Monday with a little boy named William from Arrow. So
he's kind of adult now, so
he's an adult now for sure. But
he's gonna make us both feel old as hell. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can comment spoilers. I mean, this is a spoiler open discussion. Let's see here. Oh yeah, but that's point two. Frost had leveled up to Hellfrost. She did. She did. At first, I was like, did she say Hellfrost? And then I saw people on Twitter saying Hellfrost. But okay, so she did say Hellfrost. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun to see that because the episode, the version of the episode I saw, that it wasn't finished. Like on Wednesday, I got to see the finished like with everyone else. I'm like, oh, this looks really, really, really good. So because I was like, okay, it's Hellfrost, cool, but like I don't know like what she's actually supposed to look like because it's not finished. But then, yeah, Wednesday it was worth it. It was cool.
This is true. He basically told her. Unfortunately, he didn't. I don't think he realized she could do that. What mouth? Oh boy. I already did interview the son of Arrow. I already did. It's coming out Monday. That's the goal. Would you like to see more U.S. agent in the MCU? Oh boy. They're setting him up to appear more. Doesn't mean we want to see him, but they're definitely setting him up to appear more. I mean, I'm going to assume that Andy's like, no.
I wanted to like bang my head into a wall during season 1 of Falcon. Nothing against the actor. I think it was horrible that he got so much hate from people and so on. Again, he doesn't write the character. He's just an actor who's reading his line and doing his job. So I felt really bad for him. But I'm like, this character is despicable. Like this is like a garbage human being that I cannot believe we're getting, especially post a certain president's era, that I'm like, I cannot believe we got this for Falcon. Again, Falcon is not one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, it could have been better. I agree with this. The Illuminati were arrogant. Yeah, because they all just believed every Strange was the same. And they all just, after dealing with their own Strange, they kind of just freaked out. But then they had their whole thing about where, like, they saw
arrogant or precautious?
I think precautious is a better word, because they also made a point. It wasn't just because he's strange, but because he's not supposed to be here. Mordo tricked him. Mordo's like, come in here, tell me about your universe. But he's like, because with the whole thing of Reed Richards right away, he's like, you being here is not good. This could cause an incursion the longer you're here. It's like, okay. So there's more of a reason. It's like he's not supposed to be here. So, and I like how they address
not arrogant. I would say that it's more that I think they were very precautious, but maybe there was a point where I feel like there could have been a conversation about like we are all not how can you determine all infinite of us are all the same, and because there's an endless amount of Doctor Stranges out there. So like I just felt like it was just.
Could you help me with this question?
What question?
Was that the blue lightning at the end of the episode?
That Killer Frost's color is blue, right? That was like a little homage to her.
I understand that, but I also went, that's a very specific thing to do, to have the blue lightning. And when I
just died.
I know, but when I mentioned it in my video, I said the blue lightning, and it was in the reaction like, well, blue lightning. Did you see that? So like, well, when she was speech to Frost, she had blue lightning. I'm like, I know, but that's a very specific reference that they would pull after her death. It's like I don't. It just felt kind of out of.
Okay, everyone. I think you're all blowing this out of proportion.
Oh no, we're not. Soon coming.
Okay, that's not even the right color shade of blue, but whatever. But no, I think it was because having the light, because they always end every cut to black with a lightning. But I think for this time, because Frost had died, they chose her color. I don't even think that was a reference to that episode. I think it was just that's a good, cool way to end the episode. Because something when something, I noticed since Eric took over, like when something emotional happens in the episode, they just don't play like the song or anything. Like, they just show you the logo and like, but it's like kind of muted and that's it. But this time they shot, they showed. Again, I don't think that's supposed to be anything other than that. Now, would it be cool if it was Zoom? It would be, but
he's coming. He's already here. Run! I thought that was a really cool shot, a sequence where she like appeared behind that guy. Run! And then the guy was like running and losing his mind. He's like, "Oh shit!"
But we know what the meme is going to be, though, right? It's going to be that do run, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Boom,
also,
boom,
but it's like Run, Barry, run. Oh yeah, run, Falcon, run. There you go. America Chavez is not going to go anywhere. She's going to pop back up.
Yeah.
Like, you don't introduce the character who can travel through the multiverse and do it one and done. You would never see her again. Come on, guys. Because this movie was supposed to come out a while ago. Like, they had major plans for these characters. I mean, look what they did with Miss Marvel. Her show hasn't even premiered yet, and she's already in the Captain Marvel sequel. Like, there's big plans for her character. You don't think America Chavez? I'm not saying America Chavez is going to get her own series, but she's going to pop up in places. Don't you worry. Oh, this is a good point. So, who wins, Rex or Cody in a death match?
Who?
I think she's talking about Star Wars clones.
Oh,
Captain Rex and Commander
those are
Cody.
the most basic with it. That's what they actually call it. Like, that's like the most like very typical name. Like,
I don't know.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, Lord Darth Vader.
Yeah,
Rex.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, they would put up a good fight. They wouldn't want to fight or whatever. So Maria did say we can handle the witch. No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. You thought you could. We should have this as a clip. Okay, thank you for making me, because I want that as a clip.
Is that blood work?
For the Flash. It's for that doctor with the Esperanza or whatever her fucking name is. Allegra's cousin. It's that doctor that she wanted.
Esperanza? Okay.
Yeah, it's the doctor that she wanted to kill, and of course she didn't kill because he's like, I have one last thing or whatever, and he's like, and then it's like it's Allegra's going against her cousin and stuff. He's like, we're blood. And like, blood is a liquid it can easily spill. That was fun.
It is so funny what certain people of the Flash fan will remember, whereas like I'm like, I don't see anything. I think I think the memeable thing is what that sticks more with others. While I'm just like, oh, was that funny to people? So not judging, but I'm just like, it's just interesting like when I see this kind of comparison, because like none of us on the Flash, but I bet none of the girls would like even like realize, wait, why was this so funny? And then like we would have to like rewatch it.
It's just so over the top. That's why. Triple X, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Andy's prediction is it won't, because they'll go with a lesser known. We'll see.
I think it'll be just more interesting because
they definitely underestimated Wanda. They did. Yeah. It's pretty obvious. They had no idea what they were going up against. Miss Marvel, America Chavez in the same room together would be cool. That'd be awesome. Why not?
If only there was like a young Avengers team or something.
What? That's not real. You're making that up. Which character in the MCU do you think was miscast? Ooh. Good question.
How long do we have?
Oh God. Do you have many people or one?
I have too many people. You know what? I'm not even gonna.
I don't. Oh God. Don't. No. You can't do that. Okay, come on. No. I don't really. I'd have to really think about it. I mostly like the casting they've made for the MCU, but then again, there's been so many people, so it's kind of like I'd have to go through the list. But I just don't know.
I think in general, most characters are well cast. I think it's the writing that has been problematic over the years.
There you go. Because the writing is all over the place at times in terms of, the quality of writing. Oh yes. The multiverse is not going away. Like, I don't think so. I mean, you introduced a character who can travel to the multiverse. No, it's not done. No.
I mean, I look forward to when you all find out what the next like multiverse thing they're going to announce. So.
Oh shit. Are they doing it? Is it Quantum Mania?
I think you should watch the Flash at its censored on the CW on Wednesday. I'm not.
Wait, it's a Flash.
No, I was answering this question, and I'm saying that I think it's be fun when you all find out what's the next multiverse thing they're doing. So
for MCU or something else?
For MCU.
That's a movie they haven't announced yet. Okay.
Who said it was a movie?
It's probably gonna be. Let's see.
Your hair seriously level up. Oh my God, Jordan, stop.
Who doesn't know that? Times didn't know if it wanted to be a Wanda movie or Strange. I kind of agree with that. At times it was kind of like a Wanda and a Strange movie. They should have called it Wanda Strange, or Doctor Witch. Do you think Wanda will return? She ain't dead. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I went to the Wikipedia page for the film, and it says like killing herself. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, wait,
Did you see that? You saw the red when the thing was crashing down.
But also, like, here's the golden rule: if you don't see a dead body, then
Exactly.
then no one is definitively dead.
Yeah, exactly. So this is true. The thing is, just don't trust Andy. He always is just saying stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I'm the one spreading false rumors 24/7 and getting money for it.
Why are you exposing yourself like that?
No, I'm exposing idiots on the internet.
Professor X has died 3 times. Yeah, it's true. 3 times. And you would technically say 4, but luckily the timeline shifted to Days of Future Past where he didn't die there. So he was just luckily saved in the timeline.
Instead, we got an even worse Dark Phoenix movie.
That's true. But in terms of Patrick Stewart, I think he's referring to Patrick Stewart's Professor X. Because he died in 3, he dies in Logan, and then he dies here. But he could have died a 4th time if in Days of Future Past if the Sentinels actually reached him and actually killed him before the timeline shifted. Thankfully, they didn't show that. Did they mention Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange showed the Warriors help with Wong and Doctor Strange?
I don't think they mentioned them at all.
There's no mention of Shang-Chi. The thing is, too, that's a good point because I actually forgot that the after credit sequence in Shang-Chi was Wong in there. Wong was in that. They were at the Sanctum. I guess maybe at one point, maybe there was a mention in one of the drafts of a script. Maybe there was a mention, but I don't think he was going to show up. So
I thought a Spider-Man reference was like hilarious. Like, he's
yeah,
I'm not sure. I feel like I should know if he could shoot a web out of his ass.
Dude, in my audio reaction, I was sitting there and he's like, I didn't even think about this. So she says it's like, he can shoot the web out of his butt. Like, no. I was like, what? But then that's the thing. Spiders shoot webs out of their ass. So that's not a bad question to ask. It's actually a good question to ask. Did you know Fortnite added back E11 blasts and lightsabers? I don't play Fortnite, so I have no idea. But okay, awesome.
I play Valorant if that helps anyone.
Yeah, we actually mentioned in our cameo segment talking about the movie.
That was sick.
It was so cool because like literally they didn't have to do that, but that was just Kevin.
They should have if they know what's good.
It was Kevin's like nerd in him that he had to have that theme. He had to, and also too, we're getting the reboot, well, not a reboot, a continuation of X-Men animated series. So that throw it in. I think a lot of the deaths were pretty horrific, especially him and Black Bolt's. My God.
I got a little sad when Black Bolt died because I'm like, I love Anson Mount. I'm just like, oh, daddy kill. That sucks. I'm not gonna.
Did you say it out loud or did you think it?
I mean, I kind of whispered it because I was like sitting like on that row. I was like by myself. But also like when I'm not gonna lie, the way Reed that I kind of just start laughing.
I didn't. I was like, holy shit, because like he's just being torn apart, and then all of a sudden his head explodes. Like my God. And Wanda's quote, and I even though there was no audience reaction, I was sitting there thinking, what? Like when she says, does your children's mother still is she still alive? Yes. Well, thankfully there'll be someone to take care of them. I'm like, what the hell? Like that, like, come on, Wanda. You're trying to be a mom here and you're gonna take away a father. And she don't give a shit.
I mean, is anyone really surprised though that I actually would laugh at a superhero's death? Like, I mean, we all know we have the receipts. And now, well.
Oliver deserved it.
I mean,
Kidding.
Should have been better to Laurel, I guess.
Good question, Triple X. With all the cancellations going on, do you think Titan Season 4 could be the last? It's possible. I mean, like, okay, to everybody who's here right now, if you watch Titans, if you don't, then don't answer. But if you do watch Titans, are you excited for Season 4? Are you hyped?
I kind of am. I feel like this is like they're like what the characters they've cast and like what they're kind of like doing this season. I feel like that is for me a little more what I expect from a Teen Titans show. Here's what's so important to remember is that the HBO Max stuff is in a little different position than the CW stuff because the HBO Max shows, they get released, each episode gets released on HBO Max all over the world. So maybe Americans get the Titans, say episode one day before the rest of the world, and then the next day that's what they do. And same with Doom Patrol and whatever and so on. So I think they are in a different position where I think actually they are a little more profitable, sadly, than Batwoman Legends Tomorrow.
That's actually a fair point because it doesn't air all at once.
So. Exactly. They don't release. What they've done now since they moved to HBO Max, they put out the first 3 episodes on the same week, and then the next week, they do weekly. So I mean, here's the thing. Just because, okay, shit, I have to be so careful. Yes, there's a lot of change going on right now. With after the merger was completed, but
we're seeing that happen right now.
Yeah, the thing is, we shouldn't just assume just because 2 popular TV shows got canceled that had more popular TV shows aren't in the risk, because the thing is, every situation is right now different. I think with Doom Patrol or Titans and so, I mean, I don't think they're meant to go on for 7-8 seasons, because I think that's the thing, they're not network shows. Their format and storyline is way different. So I think Titans will at least last till season 5, and then if he still has good, depending what because I'm sure someone like Brendan Fraser is probably something that you only have locked up for 5 years or something like that. But I could say I think that what Titans needs to do is still do spinoffs, do the Teen Titans, take the younger members and head them over to their show. You can take Red Hood, head over to his show. You can do something with Barbara Gordon, and then Titans can focus on the older characters. And here's what's important about Wonder Twins: this has not been confirmed whatsoever. So hold, hit the brakes. Again, not everything is always true. That website, I know what website it is, and they have not always been correct in what they're hearing. So that's all I will say about it. But yeah, just don't take Batwoman and Legends as somehow a warning sign that more cancel will happen. I mean, I'm sure some parts are going to come to an end, but Batwoman and Legends were they're in a different period. Yeah, they were bubble shows. Not a lot of people were sadly watching them, and that doesn't mean that I have any issues with the shows creatively. I think they had great storylines, great characters, but in comparison to something like The Flash and Superman Lois, for example, weren't as high. So I would just take that in mind as you look at this Warner Bros. Discovery situation, because Batwoman Legends Tomorrow is not the end all be all of what will somehow trigger this domino effect. We knew long before the merger even happened that they were at risk. So
yeah, it had been on a thing for a while, and also too, more than likely we're going to hear of things. More likely, we probably heard there's probably things that were probably put in the back burner or canceled that we didn't even know was even in development. Because more likely, Warner Brothers Discovery, when that thing happened, the merger came in, David Zaslav, along with his top people, were probably looking at everything that was in development, that was announced, all that kind of stuff, and kind of figuring out, okay, so what do we do? Especially with the DC stuff specifically, because there was a whole report about, we're looking at all the content and seeing what we want to do. So I felt we'll see what happens, because we have that Black Canary movie that's in development. Thing is, I was just thinking about this a couple of days ago. We haven't really heard about anything about the Green Lantern show, but apparently it's going to be shooting soon. They're actually going to start shooting Green Lantern, or is that not true?
Exactly. Wait, which part were you asking about?
Green Lantern.
Yeah, the show's still happening. What the fuck are people talking about?
I was saying a couple of days ago, there was I was thinking we haven't heard any Green Lantern news, and then I just saw where a thing came out saying they're about to start shooting at some point. So I thought it was interesting how out of nowhere there was more news when for a while we haven't heard anything about Green Lantern. And I'm thinking, okay, is this show even happening still?
What Joe West knowledge? I don't understand.
I felt bad for Chillblaine. Exactly.
Yeah, they actually they if there was something a lot of people were in agreement with this week was that like they like the show. I mean, I haven't had an issue with Mark, but like a lot of people were he bought he got some more people on his side after this week. Oh, that was like
He sure did.
I fucking hate Jonathan, and I was so sad when he like just punched him into the air and just flew. Although I did start giggling. I'm like, wait, why is he falling? Jordan, why are you falling? You know how to. You know
I feel like in the moment his emotions took over, he had no idea. He didn't know how to control it.
It was just so like I could not stop laughing.
That wasn't his first time flying, even though he's flown before. But the last time I remember him specifically flying was when he was possessed in season 1.
Wait a minute, hold on. He saved Kyle by like he like that was flight.
Yeah, but that was like his first time. But he didn't like fly. He just kind of flew from off the ground and a forward trajectory, not so much straight up. It's very different.
I mean, flight is flight though. Like
I get that, but in season 1, when he was possessed, he was flying around because he wasn't in control of his body. So that was the thing. But in terms of like, if you go back and watch that sequence, it's flight, but we're talking a classic, iconic Superman flight where he flies straight up, arm both. Like that was the first time he's done that, and that was purely out of rage and emotion driving. And that's why as soon as he punched him far out, that's when he realized, oh shit, and then he started falling because he just couldn't maintain it because he's not ready for that. He has the ability, Superman, but he can't control it like that. That's why I was like kind of really worried when Sarah broke up with him. I'm like, is he going to be able to control himself? Because he was getting really upset. I'm like, oh my god, is he gonna lose control of his powers here? Because I was really worried because they have set up Jordan to be very emotional in the show. So I'm like, man, I don't know if he's gonna be able to control this. But luckily, he actually maintained himself. I'm surprised.
Well, he is the show's one and true Superboy, and I'm like, I was like, it was an awesome shot. So I mean, I'm like, yeah, Jordan. They've been. I mean, I think the letter I did start giggling about my boy, come on, like, are you like? I'm like, wow, teenagers. But then I'm like, I was once upon a time. But yeah, no, season 2. Like, if there's anything I love about season 2 the most, is Jordan's progression.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll start winding down in a few minutes, guys. So send in your last questions. This is a good question. So, which movie are you more excited for, Thor: Love and Thunder or Shazam: Fury of the Gods?
Maybe more so Shazam, but like I'm also really excited for Jane to become Mighty Thor.
yeah.
So and also see Valkyrie more.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm excited to see more of the Shazam family, but I am excited to see what they do with Jane and how much of a role she has. I'm assuming she probably has a pretty significant role. So Sharp, this is a good question. Mephisto or Nightmare being the villain of the film? Well, the thing is, too, Sharp, there was no implication of either of these people popping in. And the thing is, if Nightmare or Mephisto was actually in the movie, they would have teased it or shown them in the trailer. Because unless it's like it's a big secret, but I mean, if you look at all the marketing pretty much for all MCU films, they make sure you know who the villain is. They make sure you know. So with Wanda, I mean, it was all there. And the main thing is, too, I think Nightmare or Mephisto is probably going to be appearing later. Obviously, there's been almost that ongoing joke. Everything's Mephisto.
I swear to God, if that boy does not show up one day, I'm gonna be like, Feige, like, just
Feige's not gonna do it just to piss everybody off.
I hope that's the case. I would love to see him be like. I just want to see Feige just get a little dirty and just a little trolly. Just be like, I mean, we could, but I don't really want to do Mephisto. We don't need them basic bitches like that. So interesting. You had a Jordan Kent face. Yeah, I totally. Yeah, I used. Yeah, well, minus the girlfriend part because I've never been in a relationship, minus the living on a farm because I live in the suburbs, minus the having a brother because I have a big sister and she lives out of town, minus being, Kryptonian because, obvious reasons. But yeah, like, I mean, who was a little angsty when they were in their teens? Oh my God, what?
I pulled that up earlier.
Oh, I missed it.
I just love it.
What is this? Like, tell us that Joe was knowledge. You think I can channel Jesse L. Martin? No. That would be a miracle.
Good point. Barry was riding that lightning. He really was. He really was.
What else?
I think Doctor Strange 3 goes into Dormammu, more specifically, and Dark Dimension stuff. And possibly more multiverse stuff, because literally that's the whole point of what's happening here.
Oh, they will merge Mephisto and Dormammu into Dormisto. I'm so sick and tired of it.
Fuck with people.
I hope he does. I will pay him $1 if he does that for us. Oh yeah, because that man is struggling with money.
He is. Do you not know?
I would love to know what Kevin Feige's net worth is.
I bet it's online. I bet you could find it.
Okay, I will Google his ass right now.
Search it up. Search up his net worth.
He's 48. Damn.
He's 48 years old.
I thought he was a little older, but that's just me. Kevin Feige income. The films he has produced have a combined worldwide box office gross of $26.8 billion, making him the highest grossing producer of all time. I don't want to know what the fucking movies, man. I want to know how much he is worth. How rich is Kevin Feige? Net worth is estimately, if this is even correct, is $200 million.
Jesus. The man's rich.
Good
question here. Will you want an America Chavez show on Disney Plus?
I'm game.
I mean, I'm fine with it as long as, I mean, because she did talk about her experiences traveling through the multiverse. So maybe it'd be interesting to see that. And maybe it takes place before the events of Doctor Strange too. Like we see what happens. Maybe we get more build up to the moment where her mom's and everything, and then her traveling through the multiverse to try to find them. Did you read the Lord of the Rings series? Hope you talk about that series. I mean, I think he's definitely excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited for the show. I never read the books though. I have my sister's copy here for some reason. I don't know why, but I never read them because I only got into the films when I was 18. So,
yeah, I have the full book. It's all books combined into one big.
And that's the one my sister has as well.
It's over 1,000 pages. It's very it's going to be an undertaking to get through that. What's up, Scott? Thank you for being here, man.
What's up, Scott?
Let's see. No, it's all good. You don't have to be sorry for all the questions. You should have your hair like Bizarro, Jordan. You could pull it off. That's the next best thing besides balding.
Do you know how long it would take to see? First of all, I don't have curly hair. Like my hair is straight when it's actually thick. But it's like, you know how long it's gonna take to grow that out. Also, I don't like washing long hair. Like because then hair comes out of my head. From my head. I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that.
No.
That's why I'm kind of gone back to this. Yeah, I agree with this. It's I can't believe some countries cut off. Her mom's really liked that for that scene, and the country can't get all that. Yeah. It's because homophobia is still sadly a thing. No matter how many people try to tell you that it doesn't exist, it is real because I get exposed to it constantly. So yeah, it's shitty, it's horrible, and I hope that in response to it, I hope the MCU
I think
levels up their LGBT representation because I think
a country asked for them to remove it and they said no. So I feel like they weren't going to take it out. With Batwoman Legends canceled, do you think White Canary Batwoman will still guest star?
Sure they will.
Possible. When Doctor Strange 2 started, it felt like it was starting halfway through a battle. I mean, yeah, essentially. Yeah. I think that
Yeah,
was
I got
the
a
implication,
little bit. I got a little dizzy. I won't lie. I got a little dizzy from it.
because the camera work was like spinning all around and crap. Okay, once again, thank you all. That's a Flash Superman crossover at the upfronts in 2 weeks. I don't know. I mean, both shows are. I mean, they're happening. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
The movie got cut because of 12. Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. That's.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, they wanted 12 seconds cut to remove the whole moms thing, and Disney said no, they weren't going to do it.
Hmm.
So, I mean, they stood their ground.
Yeah, that's as they should.
Mm-hmm. I mean, thing is too, like, if they cut the 12 seconds, right, then it's just two random women that just get through the multiverse, right? You don't know who they are if they cut those seconds out.
I'm just giggling at like how fucking homophobic the world still is, and
Jennifer.
people being
Thank
Jennifer.
you, Jennifer. Thank you so much.
Hello, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Here's what I think we should do.
Okay.
We go for 8 more minutes. We wrap it at 10:50, and then so if you have
we have 10 more minutes, or what? 8 more minutes. 8 more minutes.
Yeah. So if you guys have any more super chats or any more questions, send them in now, and let's
end on a high note. Who do you think the major cameo in the Flash season finale? The only character that makes sense to me, Superman. See, I don't know. I don't know. I got a couple theories. I think one theory is it's going to be a hallucination Oliver. Could be wrong about that. Probably I'm wrong about that.
Pizza balls.
Yeah.
He looked so good because he looked like it didn't look like it was like finished dough. Like he just looked like dough with like pepperoni. And I was like, oh, what you doing?
No, she's not dead. No, she's not dead.
Mm.
Stargirl, I mean, it could, depending if you want to pull it from Earth too. But then again, I think by the time when the finale airs, her show will not be back yet. So I don't know.
That doesn't matter because the season 3 of Stargirl has finished wrapping. So theoretically, she could film anything she wants right now.
I want to see that too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I thought that was so funny, dude.
I was just so happy that Steven bowed for him.
I'd be down for another Trinity of Spider-Man in another movie. I'd be down for it. I'd be down. Surprised to see Disney take such a strong stand against someone else. Yeah. I mean, it's the smart move. Because imagine the PR nightmare they would have if they agreed to remove those 12 seconds, and they know specifically what 12 seconds just for the movie to play. It's like they don't have to do that. Like, it's their movie.
If only they could show some more kissing and intimacy, then we don't want to upset those Disney advertisers that much, do we?
Yeah. Oh my God, Jennifer. Oh my God, Jennifer.
I can start on this one.
Okay. Thank you.
It's not unwatchable. It is watchable. I think is it one of the best DC movies? No. Is it even a good DC movie? Not really, but it's watchable. It has good parts to it. The thing that's just so sad is that that's not even an original script and vision thing we're gonna go with the film. Like, if we're all the crap that I know that Mark Guggenheim and Greg Berlanti gets, usually the ones that I think it leaked like years ago or something, but like the ones that they actually were gonna work with was like so much better. But they were like, but Warner was like, what we should do? Let's just get some dude who directed a James Bond film here or there to direct a superhero movie. It's watchable. I don't hate it. I think people exaggerate too much about it. And I think even Ryan Reynolds is a little extra when it comes to how much crap he gives it, because he's like, go for it.
I mean, it could be a whole lot better, but it's not the god awful thing it is. But I feel like Ryan is just so, oh my God, Jennifer is so just really wishes that was better. And I bet he probably saw a better version of that script. So that's probably what makes me even more upset. And Jennifer, thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you. Like, I don't know what's happening right now. Thank you. Multiverse.
I promise you, next week I will make up for that because I just if I raise my arms and start dancing like that, it's gonna hurt my back.
Multiverse. Good point here, but Jennifer, once again, thank you so much for the super chat, Jennifer. Thank you so much. So people are disappointed in the Multiverse of Madness, not exploring the multiverse enough, but that's just for future movies. I think I get the critique. We had that whole montage of multiverses, so yeah, but the multiverse is not over. They're going to continue to go into multiverse stuff. Not every single movie is going to have multiverse, no. So don't start thinking every movie is going to have multiverse. That's not going to happen.
Think about it this way also. Even though, okay, because I know a lot of you guys who are watching right now that you are, you're I know you guys are Arrowverse fans and so on. Just because we have kind of, been, exposed to the multiverse for the last 6, 7, 8 years, the MCU has that. So the thing is, like, we can't just, I mean, for us, like, we get, we will easily get things like, doppelgangers, multiple Earths, like alternate realities and, and whatnot. But the MCU, they haven't really explored that. So they're trying to pace themselves, because again, it's like, yes, in an alternate world, wouldn't it be amazing to see like all the X-Men from the original movies, all the Fantastic Four, all the all the Spider-Man also in one and the same movie? But it's like you have to level the expectations because you have to also think about there's a lot of audience members who have never seen the multiverse before and don't know like how does it actually work. So I think if this movie did anything right, it was they didn't like overdo it. Because I think it's easy enough for newcomers to understand that, but for us who are familiar with it, like this is a treat. This is a lot of fun.
Jennifer,
So you sound like you're accosting her. Thank you, Jennifer. Like,
I'm just trying to process. My fucking god, Jennifer.
I just got a
Thank
Blu-ray
you.
for Spider-Man and X-Men '90s. Can't wait to rewatch them. Did you get them in 4K Blu-ray or did you get them like in Blu-ray?
Did they have Blu-ray Spectacular Spider-Man and X-Men 90s Blu-ray? Do they?
I think X-Men does. Well, Jordan, obviously there seems to be because she just said that she bought them.
I didn't know that was even a thing.
Hold on, I will Google the
look it up.
Spider-Man Blu-ray.
Jennifer, I'm having I don't know what the hell's going on. Thank you. My God.
Let's see. It does exist on Blu-ray, the complete series. Then let me see.
Wait, you looked up Spider-Man, the Spectacular Spider-Man. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at.
Okay. Jesus. Jennifer has leveled up, guys. Yes, Jennifer has leveled up to.
Oh yeah, no, that's Wolverine the X-Men. Hold on.
Wolverine the X-Men's on Blu-ray. Okay, that's cool.
It says there's supposed to be X-Men animation on Blu-ray, but I just don't know like where.
Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe they sold out. I didn't know that. I know they had the DVDs of them. I don't know. That's interesting. Hey Apex, what's up, man? Hello, everybody. Welcome. You're showing up at the last minute, everybody, but thank you for being here. So one of the last questions we'll take: killing off Frost is one of the dumbest decisions ever. Well, that's your opinion. I
don't agree with that though.
I saw it coming, but that's just me. But
he really wants everyone to know that he saw it coming because
I did see it coming, guys. I saw it. I pointed in my video. I'm like, Andy, I figured I knew it. That's right. When is the piano coming back? Oh, what that the dance is over, man. Spectacular Spider-Man's done. Unless they bring that show back, the piano will come back. Sorry. The piano dance. Okay, good question here. What are your hopes for the Batman sequel?
Court of Owls.
He's wanting that. That's what he wants.
I really want that.
I honestly don't really have a preference per se. I just want another good movie. I really enjoyed the first one, and I hope that Matt Reeves. Thing is, I know Matt Reeves is going to do a good job with the sequel. I have high hopes for that, but I also think he needs to make it different. Not say like change tone completely, but it can't feel like he's just rehashing the first movie. So I hope that it's a different, serial killer, Mr. Freeze. Ooh, maybe not the serial killer.
I've seen the Mr. Freeze idea that floating around. I wouldn't be against it actually.
Yeah,
but I want Coral Owls because I just want to cast some beautiful hunk as Talon, and so I can just say I want Talon to sit on me.
There you go. Gracie will be showing up shortly. We just spoiler reviewed the whole thing, so
But what are you?
Dragon Knight.
Yeah, we've actually already seen it by now.
We've already seen it. Yeah, we spoiler discussion. So we're winding down, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here on episode 13 of Vinden's Multiverse. I want to thank Jennifer specifically, and thank to everybody for the super chats. But thank you, Jennifer, for your amazing support.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you to everybody for supporting the show, supporting these episodes. We really appreciate it. We just
last week's episode, that was our
biggest
like also just into like how quickly, because like over the weekend, like we got up to like 1K views quickly. So like this, it's showing that people are investing into the show, and because no matter if we have a lot of news items or if we have few news topics, at least people are showing up every week, and that's what means a lot to us. And that's what we're gonna keep going and so on. So next week, hopefully, we're gonna have a little more to discuss. But also, it was kind of fun to experiment, to have a movie discussion too.
Yeah. And we're planning on, whenever other films come out that down the road, whatever films they are, DC, Marvel, whatever, we'll have more of these shows that are specifically geared towards a movie.
Okay, you know what, guys? I'm gonna get bald when I'm 65 if I'm alive at that point. So don't worry. Yeah, you will get to see. I don't know if I will be on YouTube at that point, but I will get bald in the future. Let me have hair.
Exactly. Thank you so much. We try, and we appreciate you guys' support, and we're trucking along. So as we go, as you guys know, we have a little clip we always play. It's a little thing called Gracie. Here we go, guys. Here it is. We're signing off.
Metas killed your parents, Gracie. They all deserve to die.
Don't believe him, Grace.
Don't believe him.
Don't believe him, Grace.
Hope you guys have a great weekend. We will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Gracie. I won. Yeah, I won. You were too slow.